Welcome to the Audience Converter Podcast, the podcast for converting your audience from strangers to loyal fans. We dive deep and discuss how entrepreneurs, consultants, and coaches can level up their business to help more people in the world. Now here's your host, the creator of the Audience Conversion Method, Kimberly Weitkamp.
Do you find yourself asking questions like, how do I tell if my marketing idea is good? Where should I really spend my time? I'm on a mission to change that. Let's turn how do I know if into I know this works and here's how I'm going to do it. Get your marketing done at Audience Conversion Live, happening June 29th through July 1. In this 3-day live workshop style event, you are going to create your landing page, gift, opt-in copy, and more, and finally shutter the questions on how do I turn my marketing into profit, figure out how to convert your audience from strangers into clients, and to plan for profit from the beginning when you create your marketing at Audience Conversion Live. Check it out at theaudienceconverter.com/live. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Audience Converter Podcast for community leaders. I'm your host, Kimberly Weitkamp, a conversion copywriter and marketing strategist. And today we're talking about how to plan for profit by using your marketing. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this subject for today is that coming up, we've got a live event happening where we're going to be creating your marketing material that actually puts your profit and puts your business success strategy in place as part of your marketing strategy. And here's what I mean by that. Too often, we kind of approach marketing and sales as two separate, completely unrelated things. But here's the reality. When it comes to your marketing, it is part of the sales process. And when it comes to sales, marketing is that first touch point, which is going to inform the sales conversation. So when we talk about planning for profit with your marketing, what we're talking about really is having a clear idea of what the customer journey actually looks like. And let's dive into that a little bit more. So do you know how people come into your world? Are you aware of how people join your lists or how people hear about you or even how people initially join? So I want you to think about that for a moment. Do you know how people find you? And often the answer to that is no. Or people will say something, oh, well, of course they come to my website first. But I want you to take a moment and think about that. When was the last time you went to a company's homepage? I'm not talking about a random page on their website, but when was the last time you landed on their website and started to explore the website? Most likely what happened was you actually landed on a landing page, right? You came into their world because of something specific. Maybe you saw a blog post, maybe you listened to a podcast, maybe you saw a gift on a giveaway or saw someone speak on a summit and joined that way. But most likely you had a very different entry into somebody else's world. And that is also the way it works for your audience, for your people, for your clients. They find you through your marketing material. And that is only step one through the sales process. The sales process starts from the moment somebody encounters you, from the moment somebody finds you, right? So what I want you to remember here is that marketing is a part of building your business, but it's also a part of your sales process. And if you don't plan for profit with your marketing, if you don't plan for the success and what that looks like for getting new people into your world with your marketing, then it's really hard for your marketing to do its job, right? For example, oftentimes I'll speak with people and they say, yeah, I'm going to go live once a week on Instagram or on LinkedIn or on Facebook, wherever it is, right? I'm going to go live once a week. And that's part of my marketing strategy. And I'll ask, okay, you're going to go live. That's great. That's a method. That's a tactic. That's a task. That's a to-do. But what does that do for your people? How does that get them closer to working with you? Do you even have a call to action? And often the answer is, oh, well, no, or I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about each week. So that changes. All of these things can make an impact on whether or not your marketing is actually planning for profit. So when we talk about planning for profit with your marketing, what I'm saying is, let's plan what a success looks like for you. Okay. So at the end of the day, how many new clients a week, a month, a year do you want? At the end of the day, how many people do you want enrolled in your community? Join free or paid? How many people do you want to have as a part of the process of working with you? Right? That might be in a community, might be taking an evergreen course, might be enrolled in a course with a live coaching component, whatever that looks like. Have you sat down and decided what success looks like for you? Okay. An example for you, one of my clients currently is building her community. She's in the early stages. So, she does all kinds of different offerings. She has a lot of different services, a lot of different packages. But that first step for her, she really, really wants to build a community. She wants people who are going to be a part of her world for quite a long time. So her goal was to get at least one new member of the community a week, right? One new person to join the community a week. That's 4 new people a month. And then, after 6 months, you've got a community of 25 people. Of course, she already had people in her community, but that was kind of her first step goal. Well, already she's past that. She's getting 2 to 3 new members a week for her community. So her marketing is working. Her plan for profit is working because once she gets into the community, then she has another step in place. Then she knows, well, once they're a part of the community, they're going to go to step 2 and step 3 and step 4. And at one of those steps, they're going to be monetized. And I want you to think about this just in terms of what does success look like? Okay. I know often especially for those of us who are all about making a difference and making an impact, money is not necessarily the driver, but you have to know what your success metrics are. You have to know what conversions you will be happy with. So when we put together a marketing plan or marketing tactics, right? If we do all of that without an actual strategy in place, it can't work as well. Because if we don't know what success looks like, it's really hard to achieve that success, right? So what I want you to do is, think about what does your profit look like? How do you plan for profit? What does that look like? What do the wins look like for you? Now, for some of you, that may be, I want to double my community size within a year. Awesome. That's a great profit metric for you. If you have an active and engaged community, then leading them to that next step is a great option for you. But then, that's a year, right? That's a year, double community size in a year. Fantastic. Awesome. So then you're going to take a step back. Okay, what needs to happen in 6 months from now? What needs to happen month to month from now? What happens week to week from now? And from that, you can plan your marketing strategy so that you are planning for profit from the beginning, right? So I want to kind of float this idea out there that planning for profit doesn't necessarily mean, okay, I'm going to get XYZ amount of dollars out of each individual community member by the time they leave. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, what does that successful business look like for you? How is it structured? And how do you make sure that the activities you're doing, the steps you're taking, the time, energy, and resources you're putting into marketing your products and services, into building your business, actually lead to that success metric? So for example, right, I have a year-long program where people work with me to create all of their evergreen marketing needs for their business for years to come. Right? Over the course of a year, anything that is not necessarily tied to a specific date gets created. And also they get to plan out their marketing strategy. They know what they're doing for 12 months, and they're going to reach other goals, such as building their community, building up their number of clients, et cetera, et cetera. So my goal, right, my success metric, my plan for profit is to have 20 people enrolled within 12 months. All right, I want a rolling basis of 20 people at any one time in that community. It's a good size. It's a great amount of accountability. It still allows for a lot of one-to-one touch points, and it lets me create a bigger impact for people, especially when each of those members is a community leader. And then they can take those lessons and take that training and take that benefit and continue it on and add to it and help others in their communities reach their goals, right? So my plan for profit, my plan for success is on a rolling basis. So what needs to happen? I need to have a certain number of events each quarter. I've got different metrics for my day to day, different metrics for my week to week, different metrics for filling my live events. All of those tie into a marketing strategy. Part of that marketing strategy is to let people know, hey, regularly for 2 weeks before the event is going to happen, to go live or to send an email or to mention on the podcast that I have a live event coming up, which is what I'm doing right now, right? We're very meta, very, very meta right now. So part of that, right, is letting people know. And how do I let people know? Well, I send emails, I have social posts, I have other people promoting it for me, and that's all part of the plan. But that is happening in the 2 to 3 weeks before the event is taking place. But in the month or 2 months before that, then I had to create that material. Then I had to connect with the right partners and I had to verify that I was on someone's schedule. And then in the 2 to 3 months before that, I had to plan out other things. So when you have a plan for your success metrics, when you have an idea as to once I reach this number, I know it was a success. When you have that happen, then it's so much easier to work backwards and put your marketing and strategy in place to make it happen. It also makes it so much simpler to test and to figure out what is and isn't working. Because if you've got your year-long plan, right? If you've got your 12 months, I want to be at this point. If you know that point, right? 12 months, this is where I want to be. If you're aware of that point, if you know that point, and then you've backtracked, okay, in 6 months, this is where I need to be. In 3 months, this is where I need to be. Then this is the month to month. Then it's really simple for you to look at it and be like, okay, we're on month 2. Have I reached my metrics? We're on month 2. Am I on track? We're on month 2. Are my activities doing what I want them to be doing? And if they're not, then you can decide, then you can figure out, then you can go through all of the things that you're doing and evaluate, well, what is working? What isn't working? Where do I think is that trickling sieve? Where are people getting lost? Where am I losing people? And then you can devise, if you will. Then you can decide. You can figure out exactly what you want to be fixing. So what I want you to do, okay, just this week, I want you to contemplate, what does that success metric look like? I call it planning for profit, because we all want to have profitable businesses so that we can devote more of our time and energy and resources to the things that really matter to us, right? Whether that's serving more people, whether that's being more fully present with our family, whether that's, growing a global change maker movement, whatever that looks like, that's fine. But we all want to plan for profit in that we want the ability to do those types of things. So I want you to sit down and decide, what does that look like for me? What does that success metric look like for me? How can I plan out so that when I do my marketing activity, I know every single step of the way is tying into that overall plan to be profitable, to be successful, to reach my metrics, to have those big wins. And if you want to learn more about the event that's coming up, if you're ready to put this into practice, if you want to plan for profit from the very, very beginning, from that first touch point with your people, I would love to invite you to join me at the Audience Converter Live event. It's happening June 29th through July 1. It is 3 full days of training and it's workshop style. That means at the end of your 3 days, you are going to leave with the copy written, right? You're actually going to write the copy and write the materials for your marketing, for your gift, for your landing page, for your opt-in copy, and more, so that you know that very first touch point is planning for profit, right? We're going to go through this whole process. We're going to map it out. We're going to walk you through getting that training and making sure that everything you create has that endpoint of profit in mind. So you can check it out at theaudienceconverter.com/live, theaudienceconverter.com/live. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out at contact@theaudienceconverter.com. I would love to hear from you and love to hear more about what you're up to and the struggles that you are overcoming in building your community. And I want to thank you for listening today to the power of planning and to how to plan for profit with your marketing. Because at the end of the day, all of us are running a business, whether that's a nonprofit, whether it's, something we're looking to make six figures or more from, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all running a business and we need to have that strategy in place. Profit planning is important for making sure that what we're doing is actually contributing to the success of our business. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Audience Converter podcast, where we talked about planning for profit with your marketing and how that ties into making you a better community leader. Until next time, keep calm and check out Audience Conversion Live at theaudienceconverter.com/live.
Thanks for listening to the Audience Converter podcast. For more information and important links about today's show or for access to our website, visit theaudienceconverter.com. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.